Hello guys, Forristicat here. Today I'm going to speak about 24 Live Another Day, which I have just seen. So I guess I should get this out of the way first. Going into this, I never really had like high sort of expectations for it. Like I always knew that the obvious 24 tropes were going to be there. They were going to be sort of plot cut corners, which always sort of get cut. Simplified versions of politics to sort of push the plot forward a little bit. Uh, Jack Bauer saying, "Damn it!" I mean, I knew what I was getting myself into. Uh, Overall, did I enjoy 24 Live Another Day? The first two episodes, yeah, I did. I have to say I did enjoy these first two episodes. I would say that probably maybe just a little bit above average, and I think that in saying that you have to understand I'm sort of like a pretty much like a die-hard sort of 24 fan. I remember 24 back from season one, season two, season three, which in my personal opinion is the best season of 24. But I guess I sort of took that this love for this character of Jack Bauer and those heyday moments, which sort of led me just to go with feeling into this 24 season and plot analysis and nitpicking aside, I just thought to myself, just on a pure 24 level, did this show in its first two episodes broadcast that sort of 24 adrenaline rush feeling to me? And the answer was yes, and that was actually more than what I expected. I was reading some reviews online in which they were saying, 24 brought what 24 always brings to the table. However, it brings a lot of its problems as well. I thought, well, damn, that's sort of not what I'm after. I'm after sort of 24 and it's, 1, 2, 3 heyday. But having thought about it and going into this, I did realize that that's sort of like a very high task to act. Like, you know what? You sort of fucked it up in the last couple of seasons. Let's backtrack and have 24 just as good as it was in its first few seasons. I think that either writing wise or just logistically wise or whatever, it's going to be too hard to sort of get back to that sort of heyday. Like you can imagine if 24, if these episodes were like just as good as the first couple of seasons, everyone would be like, "What the fuck? Jack Bauer really is back." So I think that, and maybe that's sort of a cop out, but it's almost like too much to ask. Is it too much to ask? I don't know, but I sort of knew that it was never going to be sort of that good. I mean, when I say good, I mean like as good as the first couple of seasons. So what do I like about it? Well, I like this sort of on a purely cosmetic level. The 24 logo looks nice and sort of I guess worn now. You've got the sort of actual ticking clock there, which again looks sort of touched up a little bit. I guess it's a throwback that hey, we know you guys miss 24, so we're going to sort of highlight and accentuate these little things here and there. The favorite part of 24 for me was always right at the end of the episode where you've got the major moment which happens. You get the slide to the corner and you have all the other plot points all around you. That was the sort of main adrenaline rush of 24 for me. And I haven't really gotten that sort of adrenaline rush feeling in any other episodes. I'm not sure how they did it, but they did achieve that using this split screen format. And it was cool sort of seeing Jack Bauer escape from the interrogation room initially and seeing the guy, pardon me, from one camera angle sort of walking towards Jack Bauer and Jack Bauer trying to get his handcuffs off. And yeah, it's always been nice to sort of seeing like things from two different situations. It does add to that sort of impending sort of feeling that someone is going to be in a situation very soon, and also a nice reminder that this plot point here, that's one thing, but what about this and this and this, and a reminder that this is all happening at the same time. So I like that. What didn't I like? Well, the part where there's a lot of like sort of exposition, and I guess as I like to call it, treating the viewers as not intelligent. I mean, there's a lot of things which are said like out loud, sort of like slapping us, in the face to sort of confirm the story to us, and that straight away takes me out of the experience because you know that they're only doing it to let the audience know. When as soon as you feel like they are talking to you, that's automatically going to disconnect yourself as a viewer. So I think that you can't like really have these sorts of things in there and expect the show to be one of those top tier shows, because you have to trust that your writing is good enough that people are going to understand it without having to slap your audience with a fish regarding certain plot points. So like Jack Bauer's, the damn it, they're planning a full scale attack. I mean, that is just it's just unnecessary dialogue because everyone sort of knows what is going on, and those sort of summarizations of plot points, they do it like many times throughout. Like they'll have like a sequence of things of like uh, items, if you will, like agenda items, and then you'll have like you can almost like feel the writer sort of clacking in the head, like, okay, well, let's just have like the summary of that be this line, which will throw at the end of what Jack Bauer says, and that happens quite a lot. So that part I didn't really like. What I did like was the acting. I did really feel like, and that's the thing. Like, you know what? Sometimes the actors do what they can, right? The age old saying that they only work with the material that they're given. That they don't write the show. And I really felt like the intensity of all of the performances here. So I don't think any of the performances here were bad. I mean, I usually sort of look in their eyes to see if they are sort of wavering and how focused they are, how believable they are in their voice tonality. And yeah, that president, I mean, even though he may seem like a goofball, like he does bring this sort of intensity. And of course, Kiefer Sutherland always brings this sort of what do they call it, gravity or gravitas? Not sure how to what the adjective is there to his role as Jack Bauer. I guess this whole I guess going back to the sort of summarization of main plot points by like browbeating us a little bit on the nose, like Chloe saying, what do you think is going to happen, Jack? That if you stop this attack, everything will be forgiven. Again, that's something that is obviously in the back of our heads now, but having Chloe say that, it's a little bit too on the nose, and again, it's it's something for us, the viewers. So it's this balancing act that they want people to get on board 24 so they can get their ratings, so they know they have to dumb it down for us. But at the same time, it's at the expense of having a really good quality TV show that you can only have when you're writing to the point where you don't need to explain yourself this much. So automatically, that's putting 24 in the category of not being one of those top tier TV shows, which it originally was. I mean, in its first couple of seasons, it was just incredible. Going back to what I did like about the show, and I remember reading some review that 24 is trying to connect to these sort of personal level storylines, and I think in my previous 40-minute video, I mentioned that you need to have an emotional connection to the characters and in the storyline, otherwise we're just not really going to care. So the writers did think about this a bit, and credit to them for doing that. So the chief of staff mentioning to the president that like when those the army guys were killed via their own drone, when he's preparing the president for his speech, how he's mentioning stuff like, well, the wife and children, how will they feel about the situation? What's their reaction to it? Focusing on that sort of personal element of how these people get affected. And like I mentioned in the previous video, that's something which has always been present in the best seasons of 24, that display of how these major terrorist or like terrible events are affecting individuals on a very personal and intimate level. So mentioning the wives and the children of the army guys, having the storyline of the president having Alzheimer's disease and the daughter being in there. The daughter is a very good character. I liked it. I think she added that father-daughter relationship to the show, which is lacking now that Kim is out of the picture in Jack Bauer's case. And they didn't do a bad job of sort of introducing these other sort of thug characters, which again, like the acting, I didn't detect anything off there. I like that sort of element. I always like these elements that, like I said, that they show like a character for a very brief time, and the acting and the casting is pretty spot on. That It feels like they're their own sort of independent entity away from everything else, which sort of just makes you more feel like you're in a real world and less, watching a TV show, which is what we're after, obviously. So I guess the question on everyone's mind is how they're going to cut all these hour breaks in between. There's mention of, are they going to take it back to America or Russia or Greenland? Are they going to how are they going to cut these time periods, given that, as Kiefer said, there's a very concentrated or condensed version of 24, being that there's now 12 episodes instead of 24. So I'm hoping that all those silly plot lines which are have plagued 24 in the past are going to be replaced with, and that's the thing, like it may be good that they're gone, but unless they do something good with taking that time and filling it with something worthwhile, it's all going to be for nothing. So I really want to have that, those, holy shit moments, that sort of, I guess, that adrenaline rush. I mean, that's the main reason why I watch 24, to get that adrenaline rush of intensity that I don't get from other TV shows. Like other TV shows, there's drama in that, oh my god, what's going to happen next? But like I said, 24 has always been like a rush to me, totally different like emotional feeling. And yeah, I'm still going in here with my guard up. Like if they do sort of stuff it up to, like in the next episode, I'll be like, you know what, you're really just watching this for nostalgia reasons. And as I mentioned before, I've always, I think since season 5 onwards, after sort of 24, dropped the ball, I thought, you know what, I can't take this seriously anymore. I have to sort of watch this like as a popcorn flick, or like as a sort of B grade movie, because it's sort of become like a parody of itself. So I'll watch it. There are moments in there that I'm like, that's just awesome. That's classic 24 stuff, which makes watching the episodes worthwhile. Of course, because I'm a 24 veteran, and just I guess I really got attached to this Jack Bauer character, especially in the first couple of seasons. That I'm a sucker for this show and this character, regardless of, admittingly, yes, it has gotten more dumb, it's gotten more stupid, it's platted its tropes too much with the moles and the sort of convenient timing that it's meant to be in real time, but how can you get from this place to this place that quickly? Nevertheless, analysis aside, did I get that 24 rush from these 2 episodes? The answer is yes. Did I think it was slightly above average? The answer is yes. Am I on board for this season of 24? The answer is yes. Am I happy that Jack Bauer is back? The answer is definitely yes. With that, I'm going to clock out myself. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Forristicat, out. Goodbye.